So hello, and welcome back to my channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and also support my small business at latricelimited.com. So today we're actually going to be talking about an Applebee's executive that has said some crazy stuff, right? So he's under fire. I'm actually going to direct your attention right over here. I'm going to read this headline, and then I'm going to read down here. Oh, and this is the guy. And I'm going to read down here, which is an email that he has actually sent to like one of the other employees or whatnot that's working there, where it just shows how evil people are. That they know what they're doing, and I'll explain it later. But they know what they're doing, and it just really shows how much they really just don't care about you and want you to just deal with it, which is the American thing, right? Oh, just deal with it. Oh, well, you're not getting paid that much. Well, you should be lucky to have a job. No, that's not having a job is not a luxury. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna read this little headline real quick, and then I'm going to go through this. And then there's some other little stats down here as well that I want to show you guys. Applebee's exec says in a leaked email that skyrocketing gas prices and inflation are an advantage that can be used to lower wages for workers who already live paycheck to paycheck because they expect more people to apply for work. Which, it's so crazy, y'all. It's so crazy that somebody will think about this in the way. I'm going to read the email, what it has says. Obviously, they block out certain names, so people, for privacy and stuff like that. But we're going to come right over here. So this says from Wednesday, March 9th, okay? And it says, be great at what matters, okay? Blah, blah. All right, it says, team. Everyone has heard that gas prices continue to rise. The advantage this has for us is that it will increase application flow and has the potential to lower our, I think this is average wage. How do you ask? Most of our employee base and potential employee base live paycheck to paycheck. Any increase in gas prices cut into the disposable income. As inflation continues and climbs and gas prices continue to go up, that means more hours employees will need to work to maintain their current level of living. We are no longer competing with the government when it comes to hiring. Stimulus money is no more. Supplemental unemployment is no more. This benefits us as prices rise. People who we relying on unemployment money, I think is worth. Simply will have less money to spend. It will force people back into the workforce. Furthermore, other competitors, especially mom and pop companies or smaller businesses, will have to either raise prices, cut employee hours, or pay employees less hourly to hit their profit margins. Some businesses will not be able to hold on. This is going to drive more potential employees into the hiring pool. We all competed to hire out of the limited applicant pool, and there was a wage war. We all saw businesses hiring team members at $18 to $20 an hour. They will no longer be able to afford to do this. Trucking is the backbone of America, and as fuel costs rise, so will the charges for shipping. If these costs cannot be passed on to the customers in terms of menu price, the only area they can cut sizable costs will be in labor. The labor market is about to turn in our favor. What can you do? Besides hiring employees at a lower wage to decrease our labor when able, make sure you have the pulse on the morale of your employees. Your employees will live check to check. Your employees that live check to check are impacted more than the people reading this email. Be conscious of that. Many will need to work more hours or get a second job. Do things to make sure that your employer of choice get schedules completed early so that they can plan their other jobs around yours. More importantly, have the culture and environment I'm assuming this is that, attract people. All right. So there is a little chart on there. I'm going to go to the chart a little bit later. I do want to just reflect on what it is that I read. So you know that, okay, fuel costs are going up. Now, we're not getting any stimulus checks anymore. We're not getting, I mean, when we did, it wasn't really anything that we got. You know what I mean? It was like a $600, 12, and 1800. Meanwhile, you got other states, like other countries who were getting $2,400 a month, 3,000 a month, 1,200 a month, continuously, mind you, but whatever. So, fine. We're not getting any unemployment. We're not getting any stimulus checks. We're not getting. We're now getting more inflation. We're now getting higher gas prices. So, what is your solution? Well, we're still not going to pay you more. For our waiters, for our cooks, our busboys, whatever else that we have over there, we're still not going to pay you more. But you guys now need jobs. So now we had the advantage, because now you're not getting those little supplemental incomes. You see, get where I'm coming from? Now you're going to need us. Do we really need you like that? Not so much anymore, buddy. So now you're going to need us. You guys are going to need Applebees, the Walmarts, whatever other businesses there are out there. Yeah, I seen you guys raising your income raising your wages to $18, $19, $20 an hour. That was to bring people in. But now, that doesn't even matter. Now I know you guys need jobs, because you guys cannot go and be sitting on the couch anymore eating bonbons. Now you guys have to go to work. And guess what? I'm going to lower these wages. Because by me lowering the wages, you know what that means for me? More money in my pocket. And yeah, I'll make sure you guys get your schedules, your schedules and stuff like that on time. Get it early to you guys, because I know you guys have another job, because my job is not giving you guys a livable wage. And that's okay. So we're going to make sure that we work, hand in hand, so that you guys could bust your butts, work 2 jobs, possibly even 3 jobs, depending on who you are, more fuel costs, and, we don't even have to take accountability for it. That's essentially what they're saying in this email, what he said in this email. And I can guarantee you what a lot of executives, CEOs, other people from other businesses, what they're saying as well. How can we cut costs, cut corners, and make it so that you don't have a livable wage? We can make as much money as we want. We can make the millions while we're paying you, I don't know, $7, $7.25 an hour. And, if you are one of those people that are like the tip workers, you're probably making like $4 an hour. So that's fine. We'll do that. I don't really want to raise the menu prices, because then people may be like, oh man, it's too expensive. I don't want to eat there. So I'll just cut it from the employee that's working there. Do you see how evil this is? Like how truly sick this is? That you think that is a good idea? That you think that is, the right thing to do? That you're like, okay, well, let's just chop, 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 right? Oh my goodness. I read this and I'm like, you have to be out of your mind. But it does surprise me? No, it doesn't surprise me. What it does do, I'm just shocked that I'm now actually seeing it with my own 2 eyes, and I'm like, wow, someone's actually saying what I know that you guys have been doing regardless. I know what you guys have been doing anyways. So it's very shocking, but is it really surprising though? Not really. It's just shocking that I'm able to actually see, like, yeah, we're pieces of garbage. You know what I mean? But I am going to go to these little charts over here that they have, and it says gas prices in the United States. This was as of really yesterday. It says the national average is $4 and pretty much 24 cents. So they have like a little chart down here. So if you see like this kind of violet bluish kind of color, it's about $3.50. And if it's all the way over to red, it's around $6, which California really is the only place that is that much. You have Texas. I mean, most places are around $3.50-ish. You have around here, so this would be around $4.25. You got Illinois, New York, these places all the way over here. Right here is about the $5 mark. So gas prices, obviously, as we know, they have been increasing. They have, and I'll keep it on here so you guys can look at it a little bit more if you want to. But gas prices, as we know, they have been increasing. They have, I mean, it's getting ridiculous. Where, and I don't know if you guys have even heard about this, where in Chicago, for example, there is a guy, I believe his name is Willie Wilson. He's actually been giving out free gas to people. So he's been partnering up with some of these gas stations. And I think the first time he did it was like $200,000. And it was in, the Chicago area. So I'm not talking about suburbs, I'm talking about the city. You know what I mean? Just up in the city. And it was like, it was a list of different gas stations where, he was like, I'll pay for your gas, so I think it was like around $50 or so for your gas or something like that. But it was up until everything got up until like 200 grand. And then I know that he's proposing to do $1 million now because that one was so successful, and people were happy, man. Because they're like, I can't afford this. I gotta go to work. I gotta be there. I gotta go. I can't just be sitting at the house. And you could say, well, protest, don't buy that gas. Well, you gotta go to work, boo. How you gonna do it? How you gonna get there? Oh, well, I could go and take the train. And now that's hindering into maybe the time that you had before. Depending on where you live, some things are just too dang far. That it's like if you take a train ride, it's not like New York where it's very accessible to get to and fro places. You know what I mean? You have some places where you may be out an hour and it may take you, let's say if you live in Texas, for example, and let's say you have a job up in Austin, and let's say you're living in like San Marcos, Houston, or Dallas or something like that. That is a long way, okay? That'll take you hours upon hours and hours when you could just go there and drive. And yes, it's going to still be a long distance, but still, it'll be much cheaper just for you to go, and it'll actually possibly even take less time. I mean, definitely take less time, and maybe even cheaper. So, I thought that was cool that he was doing that. But the fact is, these gas companies, all these crazy gas companies out here, really, they didn't have to bring up the prices. They made so much money just by inflating the prices because of inflation and which is so crazy when you really think about it. But yeah, they have here, it says the highest gas prices and the lowest. So we have $5.90, that's California, Nevada. I don't know if you can see this, so I'll just read out loud. California at $5.90, Nevada at $5.20, Hawaii $5.10, Washington $4.70, and Oregon it's the same, $4.70. And then you have the lowest, which this one says Missouri $3.70, Kansas $3.80, Oklahoma $3.80, Maryland $3.80, and Nebraska. Yeah, so they're all the same over there. Then you have inflation, right? Because, the mighty inflation, right? So let's see what everything looks like. So you have meat and poultry up 13%. You got cereal, I didn't even know that, 7.5%. Gasoline 38%. We know that. Airfare 13%. Used cars 41%. Fruit and vegetables was at 7.6%. And this is also something that I heard about the car situation. So from what I heard with these car situations, it costs, for some places, it costs more money to get a used car than it is for a brand new one, because they were saying, because of COVID, and all these chips and whatnot, that, they couldn't make them, so you can't put them in new cars, and then they're going up on the used car. What the heck, you guys? And I will say, I went to the grocery store. It was, the meat and poultry that we have over here. I went to the grocery store 2 days ago. 2 days ago, I believe. And tell me why. So I went to the grocery store. The regular stuff that I usually get, my bill was like $400, right? Now, granted, I do stock up, but I do that every single time I go there. I don't go to the grocery store every week or anything like that. I usually go maybe either every 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that, unless it's something small that I have to get, like cheese, for example. The bill was at $400, y'all. And I'm looking, and usually, if I get like seafood, crab legs, shrimp, or something like that, I didn't get a lot of that stuff. So I'm looking, I'm like, oh my goodness. It's just things have gone up so much. Fruit, oh my goodness. That's why I'm like, y'all, I'd rather just get the frozen fruit. Because if you're getting like strawberries or something, sometimes they $3.89, $3.90 something. I'm like, it's not even that big. Okay, so things have gone up so much. You know, it's like everything. You look at chips, expensive. You look at, you know, whether it's toilet tissue, whatever, if it's even there, expensive. I remember I was looking at some turkey bacon, for example, because I love me some turkey bacon. You gotta really jazz it up for it to taste good, though. But I was looking at that. That thing went up about 13 cents from the last time I went there. Because I remember looking, I was like, I don't think this is right. I was like, why does this price look different? And then they put a little coupon on it. Oh, you could get a little coupon, you know, get some monies off. And I'm looking like, well, with the coupon that you're telling me, it was what the original price was. So whatever, man. They make me mad with all this. But yeah, so I just want to show you guys this, the inflation, gas prices, and pretty much what this guy is saying. I'll leave this up for a little bit. Yeah, it's just pretty much what he's saying. It's like, you know, who cares? You know, you guys need to have 2 jobs because you guys are poor and you guys are lazy. So there you go. You know, which really freaking irritates me when you think about that. There's actually a guy by the name of Dan Price, and he owns like some kind of software kind of company, some tech company up in Seattle. And people were all up in the news about him, like, oh man, look at Dan Price and what he's doing, you know, because he made it so that his minimum wage at the job, you could not make less than $70,000. Like that was the minimum, was $70,000. Now, granted, you got to have tech experience and stuff like that, but it was $70,000. Okay, what job do you know where the minimum wage for you is 70 grand? What job is that? Because I would like to know. Okay, so you know he's saying that, and then he even made a comment about work from home, for example, and then he was over here saying like, you know, if you look at work from home and how that whole thing is, he's like, yo, I don't really care, because he did a survey. You know, do you want to work from home? Do you want to work from the office, or do you want like a hybrid kind of model where it's like you work 5 days a week, maybe 3 days are in the office, 2 days are at home, or vice versa, something like that. And it was like 7% said, hey, I want to be in the office full time. I don't want to be at the house. It was like 60-some% said, I want to be at my house. I don't want to be at the office. Then you had the remaining for, you know, the hybrid kind of model. And he was just like, yo, in all honesty, let's keep it real. In all honesty, in all realness, as long as the work gets done, I don't care where you do it. You know, and that was his motto. That is his motto. He's like, I don't care. Oh, okay, well, you don't want to be in the office. That's fine. I'm not going to force you to be in the office if you could do the same thing from your house. You could save on the gas, as we have seen the gas prices. You know, and obviously, you know, if you're eating out when you're at the office or however that may work, you know, you have more time for yourself, have more time to be with your family, have more time to be with your dog, have more time to do whatever it is that you do on the side. Maybe you play an instrument. Maybe you're doing what I'm doing right now, is making some YouTube videos. Maybe you like to cook or something like that. You have more time. That's that work-life balance that everyone talks about, saying how, oh, this is what you need, this is what you have to do, but then they don't want to give you the tools, the resources to actually do it. This is what he's saying. He's like, yo, you could do it. He even just recently put up a post, and it was talking about like teachers. He was like, I don't get why people want to be in the teaching profession anymore. He's like, because before, you know, you had X amount of years you had to do, the base pay was X, and you know, you had X amount of debt. And now the base pay for a teacher, I'm not talking about professors, I'm talking about just like you know, regular, you know, first grade or kindergarten to 12, something like that. And then it's like the base pay now is less than what it was, you know, however many years ago, and your student loans and all that crap is now more than what it was however many years ago. So it's like, why would you even want to do something like that? And I get it, you know, maybe you love teaching, maybe you've always wanted to make that kind of impact on somebody, but at the end of the day, I get it, but at the end of the day, it's like, you have to look out for yourself. You have to look out for Can you pay your bills with this? Will you be struggling if you choose this? And this is also something that I say about going to college. Everyone says, oh, go to college, go to college. But it's like, as we have seen now, so many people are making money offline. They're doing the YouTube, they're doing the Twitch. I think it makes money off of Snapchat. They're doing TikToks. They're doing all these different all these different avenues to make money. They're creating a small business. They're doing so many different things to make money now because the world is so messed up, America, where you can't even have a livable wage. You got the housing, for example, housing crisis. Everything is so expensive depending on where you're living, and that's in most areas where you look at a house over here and you're like, that's not worth what you're telling me this is worth. You got areas that are not walkable, for example, where it's like, and what I mean by walkable is, let's say the sidewalks are not in good shape. Let's say it's a whole bunch of cracks and craziness. Maybe the grass isn't trimmed over there, and also maybe you have to go to your nearest grocery store, for example. If you go walk there, you're going to be walking for like an hour and a half because everything is so far apart. Maybe you have like a traffic light. Maybe you have this high traffic area where the traffic light isn't that long for you. So it's a lot of different things that go into that. So it's just like people don't think about that. People aren't looking at that and aren't thinking like, okay, well, this plays and this comes into play here, this comes into play here. But yeah, this is just my opinion on it. I would like to know what you guys think about it. It's just really upsetting that this is what it has come down to, that you're like trying to scheme and try to figure out how you can, pretty much shortchange the people that work for you, how you can try to mess with them even more. It's like, goodness gracious. People are just trying to live. Most people are just trying to live, enjoy life. And if they were working, and, obviously we have to work, just pay them a livable wage. This is all we're asking for. We're not asking for prices to be all the way up here and you're paying us something where it's like you're making 30 grand a year, but the area that you're living is saying you got to make 80 grand to live comfortably. So now you're having to bunk with two other people. It's just ridiculous. Things are really getting out of hand. And it's so annoying to see that happen to, people like me, your regular average person, So that's my opinion on it. And until then.